Good morning and welcome to Jeannie's World. I have a story of the past to tell that was brought up because of present situations. When I was attending Lamar University, excuse me, I met a beautiful Iranian man, in which I did marry him. But that was in 78, 79 was the time of the revolution, and they were having the demonstrations at the schools and stuff. And even the Iranians that were in that school, they were having their demonstrations against the Shah also. I think it was in 1958 he got this Secret Service thing, and a lot of people didn't appreciate that. But you know, that part of it was really good. My husband said 25 years. I said no, it's going to happen now. There is no waiting time. The revolution is strong, and it's going to happen. Ayatollah said free electricity, free water, free housing, free transportation, and free this and free that. Well, just like the New Yorkers, ah, they went for it. And I remember that when the Shah stepped down, the soldiers put flowers in their rifles. And I thought, oh, that's so bad. And then my group, which was the Iranian group, became afraid of the Ayatollah. And since they put him in power, there was there was no taking him out. Um, the Shah died from cancer. The crown prince, I thought would come back, not after 47 years, but he didn't come back. Um, there was no free housing. There was no free water. There was nothing that was free. Uh, Saeed was he was a landowner, so his family was really important. When he was younger and had to go to the army, he was a teacher because he wasn't a peasant, and he wasn't allowed to teach the girls in the school. They weren't allowed in school. Girls were not allowed education, and girls were not allowed to work. Their job was to serve the man, serve the family. During the Shah, there were discotheques, there were theaters. The ladies would wear their finest. They didn't wear their head covers if they didn't want to. You have to stop and think when it comes to the Muslim religion, just like the Christian religions, there are different denominations, and the Muslim religion has 70. When you think Muslim, you think Muslim, but it's not that way. There's 70 different denominations. We hear about the bad Muslims, we don't hear about the good ones. So, anyway, during that time, they started having large gas lines. You'd have to wait for hours to get gas because Khomeini told the people he was going to give them all this free stuff from selling oil, and he took the price of the oil really, really high. And that's when our speed limit dropped down to 55, because before that it was 75. They have these big poster billboards with Khomeini's picture on it. It says drive 55. And then another another thing that changed in our life was the children and I were very active in church. And there was primary, and there were the Boy Scouts, Well, actually, Jahun was too young for the Boy Scouts. But there were just a lot of activities. On Sunday, there were three church meetings. You had Sunday school, sacrament meeting, and the evening meeting. During the week, you had activities for the teenagers and activities for the smaller children, and just there were dances. I mean, there were just all kinds of activities in the church. But then they were cut to 1 day a week, Sunday. Sunday, the primary kids would have to meet for their classes, plus doing sacrament meeting and Sunday school and the Relief Society, and everything was just stacked right on top of each other. And some things were just forgotten because there wasn't enough time in the day of Sunday. And here it is 47 years later, still 1 day a week. You know, we're supposed to roll with the times, right? But the discrimination against me and my children was terrible. And it's not just me, it was anybody. Because during that time to meet an Iranian was so easy because um, they were on the bases, the army bases, the air force bases, everywhere, and they were being trained by the United States how to fight, how to fly, how to do everything. We were busy training them for the Shah's time, so that really um, helped Khomeini, didn't it? So back then, anyway, Iranians were very popular, and there was nothing wrong with them until the Ayatollah took over Iran. What made the people angry, the American people angry, I'm not too sure of, other than the price of gas. But I could look into that. But everybody got very angry, and prejudice was very high. And then, we had a lot of the bad dudes. Yeah, that was a lot of stuff. They would stand outside our window. There was a group, and they would cry, bomb, bomb, bomb Iran, bomb, bomb, bomb Iran. Okay, go, I'm going to go ahead and bomb Iran if you want to, but leave me alone, because I'm not part of the revolution. I'm just a young mother making her way through college with two kids, you know. And another thing they would do, they would throw tomatoes at our car. Our car would be all full of tomatoes where they came by. Um, Now, this wasn't all the people, it was just a few of the people. But the few made you afraid of the all. And we got through college okay. We got married. I had a little baby boy. He wasn't a little baby boy, he was a big baby boy. He weighed 11 pounds. And I carried him for 10 months, so that's why he was so big. But just, you know, I don't know if I said it or not, but Saeed being a landowner and a business owner, his family, they had all kinds of businesses. They had a theater. And it was very sad, the theater, because Ayatollah did not allow theaters. That was part of the Western culture. They barricaded the theater and they set it on fire. And they burned down the theater, people and all. And the fire station next door just sat and watched. all these people perished because they chose to watch a movie. And the stoning of women came back in. If a man wasn't happy with his wife, he could just say she committed adultery and she was stoned. Um, if a thief stole something, his punishment was to cut off the hand that he ate with. It, and taking the, I don't know if I told you that they were taking 9-year-olds as child brides. It was like the Khomeinis, they came in and they just devoured the land and they devoured the people. And here it is 47 years later. Now this is not the first revolution that where the Iranians have stood up. It's just the first one I've noticed. And they've cut off the internet, they've cut off the telephones, they've cut off the electricity, so they could kill the people in the dark of the night and President Trump wouldn't see them. I can't imagine, and I don't want to imagine the torment these people are going through for their freedom. But I do remember the ugliness of 79. I do remember the cruelty reports coming from his family out of Iran, what they were doing. I do remember the prejudice they were showing toward me and my children. I remember these things. And they were painful for me. But to what's going on now is nothing. It was nothing. I wasn't bothered at all. You know, even last week, before I even heard about the revolution, we're having so many ayatollahs in the United States that Said, he adopted my children and he gave them his name. And my children are being persecuted for having that name from those who know what an Iranian name is. Persian name, whatever you want to call it. I never went to Iran myself, but so I can't say how it is in the interior of the country, but I know the ugliness of 1979. The stories I have are many, but that's the only ones I can really remember and keep in my video short. We need to pray for our countries. We need to pray for all the people of this world, that we live in peace and harmony and love. I love you.